Hey fellas, so earlier today I just saw The Suicide Squad, the latest film DC in the universe and the latest take on these characters, based on DC comic line the same name, which has been written and directed by James Gunn, who's directed everything from Slither to the Guardians of the Galaxy films, and I for one loved it. Even though it may not be my favorite DCU film thus far, it is on the list and very high on the list. I haven't had a chance to rank all the ones in this franchise so far, but I have to say of the ones that have come out in just like the past 5 years, it's like easily within the top entries. So this film can add to something of both a sequel and a soft reboot of the franchise, in which this time Amanda Waller playing Viola Davis and a new and some returning cast members of the previous movie, as well as a host of new ones, and to the island nation of Port Maltese in order to investigate a a an experiment on his product Starfish, which can cause havoc if it falls in the wrong hands. And that's just a basic setup. And as has been noted, its product Starfish is essentially Starro, which is technically not a spoiler given how they saw that in the Red Band trailer, and that was the one that got me in there this weekend. I'm not going to be spoiling too much about this movie's plot, because it's admittedly pretty crazy. That can wait to the spoiler review, which will be in early September. Er, and even given the circumstances, is it's actually doing okay given all these Carter fires being like simultaneous as home and stream release, as the fact that both Godzilla vs. Kong and Space Jam opened to similar numbers. As Godzilla vs. Kong by 100 million domestic, heck, 400 million worldwide, and they are definitely intending to continue the MonsterVerse. And Space Jam definitely has its audience, so I'm not expecting it to do the same numbers the previous one did, but even, let me put it this way, even though Birds of Prey was one of the three movies I saw before time long ago, before everything started, along with Sonic and Onward, I'm kind of glad that film found its audience and it's at home, to the point where HBO Max expressed interest in this one. And as for Gunn wanting to direct more DC movies, his after Volume 3 is done, I'm all for that. I'm thinking he's definitely on the shortlist directors of one mind taking like a Hurley and Ivy movie, especially I still get Riley K to play Hurley, a bit to play Poison Ivy. Yeah. So, among the new characters, of course, one of the ones got me in there was Sylvester Stallone's King Shark, who, even though I'm not familiar with the comic character, he's been that character's been pretty funny in other adaptations, such like the Harley Quinn animated series, and he's very much like the Groot of this movie, being like a mostly non-verbal whole character, but still is very much like sort of like the heart of the movie, even as he eats people and rips them in half, as well as his board shorts being able to contain his naughty bits. That's yeah. So I also hope that, even though I haven't seen every single film that Gunn has done yet, the ones I have seen that were directed by him or had his direct involvement in capacity I have enjoyed, at least. Since, what better way to who freshen up a genre one might see as stale by figuratively and literally injecting some fresh blood in there. I mean, And likewise, who better to direct DC's Answer Guardians of the Galaxy than the man who directed Guardians of the Galaxy? And not just that, some of the deaths, I mean, how over the top they were, or gave me some flashbacks to Slither, which I looked at a while back. I mean, I still have not seen Super yet, but I heard it's really good. I mean, as soon as I get a chance to, plus see a video on that. I mean, since as I pointed out my review with the extended cut of the last movie, this, along with Lions of Birds of Prey, definitely was an interesting case study of French Evolution, in which this one has tripled down on both the hard art nature and the insanity. I mean, and even as someone who hasn't read that much of the comic, at least know enough of these characters to at least understand that they're acting as mercenaries that are at best anti-heroes and at worst outright villain protagonists. I mean, again, I'll explain this more in my spoiler review, and you'll probably find out why. And this one definitely was already filmed in, I think before all this started in 2019. I think I was doing like some post-production work last year when I saw the first tease at Fandom during the Comic Con Home celebration, and it's one of the few movies that wasn't completely impacted by all the schedules being reshuffled. Like the most they had was like they had some early screenings on Thursday. Also, I'll have to queue it up and start writing a spoiler review. So, as you can tell, I'm gonna have a lot to say. I I know I haven't decided what I want to say. As per usual, how I'm going to say it is definitely going to be a tricky part, which it often is, man. So, and I definitely enjoyed Idris Elba's Bloodsport. I mean, heard so we can add him to the list of DC and Marvel alumni. I, and I'm not sure or what role, if any, John Cena will play in a future MCU film. Supposedly, he did meet with the people in charge of the studio, but not a whole lot beyond that is known right now. Now, and Peter Capaldi is a thought thinker. As someone who played the 12th Doctor, it's not hard to imagine him dealing with weird stuff from other planets and indeed parallel timelines. And as I keep saying before, given how they want to do a multiverse, I mean, that would make it somewhat easier to justify the alternate cuts, I mean, including the ones like I'm in the process of watching the Justice League again and going with the Justice Gray version this time. I'm I am definitely looking forward to the 4K release later this year. Here, browsing new displays is, especially 4K ones, definitely great fun to show that off. So, and $185 million to spend on this one, so about $10 million priced on the last movie, and you definitely see quite a bit on the screen, and I have to say that, boy, I wonder what happened if Clifford wanted to throw down with Homostar or at least King Shark. I mean, like, you think a dog eating other dogs is crazy? Well, this is a shark that sounds like Rambo and Rocky Balboa, that eats other criminals, holes and despots, man. That's mean. And of course, not too hard to imagine David Dalmastian and as a polka dot man with exploding lethal polka dots and mommy issues. He was one of the three wombats. I don't know if he's going to be coming back with Quantumania. And Thomas Schiff, my favorite film, apparently schizophrenic, former patient Arkham, the kind of man the Joker tracks. So, yeah, as you can tell, there's a lot going on here, and I feel like I'm barely even scratching the surface, but I'm still going to keep them spoiler free for the time being. And I usually draft a bit, so like when I would do spoiler review, plan in my head before I make a single keystroke or a stroke of my pen. So, but for now, if you're into totally crazy and bloody hilarious stuff, this movie is for you. So I give it a spectacular 4 out of 4. And now comes my riff on coming attractions. Okay, first up, Free Guy, August 13th. I'm kind of ready to go out of town when that comes out, but I might check it out once it comes on demand. I mean, it might be fun, given how Ryan Reynolds, who is an NPC in a massively multiplayer online game, who we like that's about to take offline. Fine. I do my best to stick to rough release order. So let's keep going. Okay, so Venom, Let There Be Carnage. It's September 24th. This also addresses my belated thoughts on a more recent trailer, given how this is like the previous one, and further expanding upon the worst kept secret of the last movie. And I'm actually kind of glad that they, in hindsight, started with riots and then set up Carnage for this movie. They're also going to be dealing with Carnage's his own cousin, Phage, who is a sort of distaff symbiote counterpart, and I will accept symbiote as a regional variant, and for that pronunciation. I still think like the first trailer, which also instantly contains like the first opening scene, which even some person on Tumblr also correctly like hold. I gotta say, that's gotta be like the funniest breakfast making scenes of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna have the same expectations I would for this movie as Shang-Chi, or Shang-Chi as I need to call it now. But I had fun with the last movie, so I think I'll probably enjoy this one. I'll just deal with everything regarding like Morbius as well as Craven the Hunter as it comes. I think so retooling the Silver Sable one as well if that's still happening, so yeah. Okay, so oh Marvel's Eternals, November the 5th, again, I'm not familiar with the comic, but I can definitely at least take this movie on its own merit, and whatever the experiments are going to be like for our phase 4 and 5 from here on out, whether they're going to be on the big screen or on Disney Plus, I am open to the idea. I mean, given how with Loki getting a second season near future, as with the other shows, the possibilities for multiverse are potentially endless. As I mean, as I mean, I'm not sure how to feel given now that Gemma Chan in this movie is going to be playing a more heroic character compared to a more antagonistic one that she played in Captain Marvel. Oh, I'm definitely interested to see how this turns out. I'm definitely going to keep an open mind the best I can. And so, once again, I don't know about opening day, but definitely do my best to make opening weekend for this one, so yeah. Okay, so Top Gun Maverick, which is another sequel to a film which came out a long time ago, which not only sees Tom Cruise playing his role in the original film, but also sees his new characters join the cast, including Rami Malek, and Miles Teller. I had a feeling that Val Kilmer wasn't going to be back, even between his fate in the previous movie as well as his health problems. Like he was not in the best shape when he had that bit part in the Snowman, but then again, that film was pretty hard to watch anyway because it's really bad. So, but even though I don't think the original is a bad movie by any means it may be on the top of the list of the pop movies I don't love. Like might do like a full put together list in the future, kind of like James did a while back. But I do understand its appeal, even if I'm one of those weirdos that found it the original one's competitor Iron Eagle way more interesting. And so, and also the spoofs they did, Hot Shots, It's was pretty hilarious. I mean, they're definitely ahead of the curve, poking fun at the more absurdly macho and vaguely homoerotic elements in there as well. So, I mean, once again, I'm probably not gonna be going to see this right away, but again, most likely when it comes on VOD on a Paramount Plus, it's depending on what people think, I might give it a watch. So, always there. Last but not least, No Time to Die, the oft-delayed final film with Daniel Craig as James Bond, with the talk of who's going to be the next one on Take Up the Mantle being ongoing. Owen, and still face off against Rami Malek as an antagonist, and definitely think it looks quite impressive. It's going to be a very long send off for the character, being 2 hours and 5 minutes long, almost 3 hours. I only had to cut like Spectre short because I had a bunch to catch. But I still thought that one was enjoyable, and I definitely hope that, given the late, it'll still be a good movie. And even some people have mixed feelings towards the way they picked a new Bond girl. Honestly, it wouldn't even be the first time they took this approach. I mean, in fact, given how the way that she was getting in like gunfight alongside James, I think she might be has potential to be one of the best ones they've done since Tracy from Our Majesty's Secret Service, which, even though it was the first and last one that Lazenby hadn't had, it's actually really underrated. I mean, and you know what I mean, and yes, given how it's during Christmas time, it definitely is in rotation alongside both Die Hard, Batman Returns, Iron Man 3, name a few. Who I mean, for Christmas action. So anyway, and again, and and on top of my, like I said, on Pixar Marathon, on Amazon's recent purchase of not just the film rights but also MGM as a whole does not change my plans that much. And though I am very, and even though I am well aware of that recent gap from the rocket launch. Even I joined in about comparing the Blue Origin to the rocket from Austin Powers look like a guy's Johnson. So anyway, that we are for now. I know a lot of people are looking for the next Immortal Runs vlog, and I am currently drafting that as we speak, and I will definitely talk to you all later.